So 4.5 years ago, when I first decided to come to DRBU, some of my monk friends, especially those very ascetic ones, especially the very grizzled ones, they warned me. They said, "Watch out, going to such a sensual place," and they hadn't even seen the slideshow. They said, "Watch out, going someplace with so many beautiful young people, going to a place where there'd be wild and crazy parties all the time." Obviously, they'd never been to DRBU before. They said, "Watch out, you might disrobe, you might leave the monkhood." And I'm happy to say that after 4 years, I've gotten my bachelor's without becoming a bachelor. And that's the main thing I wanted to say. I got at least one to smile. But in the minute and a half remaining, I thought I would do a guided gratitude meditation. So you can keep your eyes open for this. And it's actually a hand-based guided gratitude meditation. So people will be familiar with this mudra, with this spiritual hand gesture. Some people call it jazz hands. Some people call it sparkle fingers. Earlier this morning I called it the spirit wiggle. But I would like to call it gratitude glitter. Gratitude glitter mudra. So I'll be chanting just an excerpt from a Pali Buddhist text in translation, and basically just thinking about different people who've helped us along the way. And so everybody, you can all feel free to do the gratitude glitter mudra as we think about the different people who've helped us through this process the last 2 or 4 years, dedicating all the goodness that we've done and being grateful for all the goodness that we've received. So, through the goodness that arises from my practice, may my spiritual teachers and guides of great virtue. This is the Dharma Realm teachers, faculty, and staff. You can imagine all the goodness as a warm ball of light in your heart, just coming out through your arms and out into your gratitude glitter fingers. May my mother, my father, and my relatives, and you can even point it, you can point your gratitude glitter fingers if you see those people. My friends, that's all our cohort mates and all the people who supported us. Fǎjiè Fójiào the best, obviously. And all those neutral people and our enemies. May all beings receive the blessings of our life. And just with that, just one big gratitude glitter to everybody and all beings. Thank you.
About myself for 5 minutes. But then I realized that I didn't do any of this alone. So instead of spending this time talking about myself, I just want to thank the people that really helped me in these last 4+ years. For starters, I want to thank Jiǎngyàn, Kian, and Jason for plucking this kid who was always walking around seems to be angry when I was at Jiǎngyàn, bringing me to this community. Jingchuan Shi, Jingwei Shi always being there for me when I needed someone to talk to. Doug for magically appearing out of thin air whenever I needed advice. To my cohort, it's been a crazy 4 years. I can't believe we made it. Good job, BA 24. Thank you for Wayne for always having back and looking out for me. Sue for also supporting me and believing in me. I also want to take the time to thank Frank for all the hard work he's done for IT. Antonio for keeping Suno Center CSB running. Also, big thanks to Hung Juan at Jiǎngyàn. She probably had to deal with the worst version of me when I came here. Also, the teachers that had to deal with me the first 2 years here, I know it's rough around the edges, like Lauren, Shari, Sarah. I apologize. And I also want to thank my parents for all the sacrifices they made so I could be here now. I got the chance to live a really good life because of them. I want to thank my sister for taking time to come out here, even though I missed her graduation. For that, I really apologize. And lastly, I just want to thank Master Wall. Even though we've never met, and I've broken tons of rules since I've been here, thanks for giving me the time and space figure out everything I needed to figure out so I could be here now. So I really appreciate that.
Everyone on this truly auspicious occasion. In this time, I'm filled with gratitude, reflecting on all the beings, all the conditions that have led to this moment. I remember my parents and their deep respect for education and the value of a good teacher, a good coach. I remember my wonderful Upajjhaya preceptor, forest master Luang Por and his transmission that I should always be someone who's learning, no matter what status you're in, even if you do teaching sometimes, that essentially you're a practitioner, we're a practitioner, always learning. And I'm so grateful, as has been mentioned, to the founder of this university, Master Xinhua, who's been an extraordinary inspiration in my life and who guided me to come here. And his vision is our future, is our hope for a new story. He recognized that education in the original sense of the word, the bringing forth out of the heart these noble qualities, that this was what was needed. This university is founded on this vision that, as has been mentioned today, that inherent in this mind, this moment, this awareness are all these treasures of wisdom, compassion, joy, patience, courage, the capacity to begin again, deep peace, that get covered over, entangled with all our confused notions and habitual tendencies. And yet here at this university, with the founded on a dedication to harmlessness, living ethically, not harming, not exploiting one another, dedicated to cultivating a presence, an awareness, a connectivity with our moments, rooted in a challenging engagement with sacred texts that are such a treasure store of wisdom and compassion. And these sacred texts, and also this wonderful method of shared inquiry. And I'm really honored to be able to be a representative for our cohort, international, from the 8 of us are from China and from Vietnam and from New Zealand and from here in the States, and yet we're not aiming for a nationality or elevating a certain bloodline or an ideology. We're connecting to this primordial ground, this place of the heart, of presence, where we all merge, where we rediscover our ancient kinship, where we then know that because we're, as Master Hua would say, we're of one family, and this universe is part of our body. So I'm not your typical student. I'm 72, got exhausted many times, but with the compassionate welcome of my classmates and the incredibly pure-hearted teachers and staff here, I always begin again, and I wouldn't be here without my beloved wife, Tanisra, allowing me to come away for 2 years, and which meant a lot more work for her, and the organization, Sacred Mountain Sangha, that we run together. A lot of people had to pick up stuff I couldn't do by being here, but they trusted that this work was important, and your trust was not misplaced. I cannot communicate the treasures I've received. I've been to Princeton, I've been to Oxford. My most cherished university time is Dharma Realm Buddhist University. And thank you all for celebrating today.
Okay. Dear Venerable Dharma Masters, Professors, and wise friend. Good afternoon. I am Fǎjiè Wang, a graduate student in the class of 2024 Master of Buddhist Classic program. Today I am honored to share with you my experience studying at DRBU under CTTB. During my 2 years of study here, I have experienced much care from the Dharma masters, professors, and staffs. They not only care about our academic performance and inner feeling, but often take care of our daily lives here as well. Thanks to their patience and compassion, we were able to adapt to the study and life here. DRBU also organizes various activities such as contemplative exercise immersion, student conferences, symposiums, art exhibitions, Taiji, and club activities, which make our life here rich and meaningful. At DRBU, I experience what real care and warmth are. Because of this, I can open my heart and return to my true and natural self here. During these 2 years, I also met many like-minded friends. I am inspired by their wisdom. Every time I got together with them, I could feel the joy from my inner heart. Their diligence, patience, respect, kindness, and sincerity impressed me. During their spare time, almost every DRBU student participates in work-study services at DRBU and CTTB. We help clean CTTB's big kitchen, teach in primary and secondary schools, organize library books, work on farms, and volunteer in the Buddha Hall. With the silent DRBU has allowed me to study at the Buddha Dharma, listen, reflect, and practice, and constantly observe my mental state and experience joy and peace. Applying the Buddhist principles I learned here allowed me to observe deeper into myself, slow down, and patiently reconcile with my inner mind. Today, I'm very grateful to stand here and share my experience over the past 2 years with great joy. I do not feel sad about the upcoming separation because I understand that it means just a new journey going to start. Whether it is for me or for my fellow graduates, we are proud to have studied at DRBU. We have knowledgeable professors, compassionate and wise Dharma masters, and sincere and kind friends. From you, I gained the courage to face difficulties and learned how to find solutions to problems. I hope all my graduating friends can turn any future challenge into opportunities to learn. Finally, I want to thank my parents. Because of their hard work and their selfless dedication, I have a healthy body and mind. And I want to thank my Dharma friends from Europe, Miss Liu and Miss Li, who sponsored me to study at DRBU. I also want to thank Dharma Master Sheng Cheng and Dharma Master Sheng Miao of Zhengning Jing Monastery in Qingtian City, Zhejiang Province, China. Because of their support and assistance, I have had such wonderful encounters at DRBU during these 2 years. Thank you all, Dharma Masters, our dear professors.
Venerable Master Huang, all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Venerable Master Huang, honorable teachers, distinguished guests, noble friends, beloved IGDV students, and of course, all the graduates, good afternoon. I am deeply honored to speak on behalf of the Translation Certificate graduates. As we gather here today, a year has swiftly passed, slipping through our fingertips. Just like the first 5 disciples of the Buddha, the 5 of us, Lotus, Amy, Hanxian, Longfa, and I, have come together from different corners of the world with one intention: to translate sutras, learn the teachings of the Buddha, and grow as translators. When we translate, we ask ourselves, does this meaning match the Buddha's? Or do I take Buddha's mind as my own? In the past year, we laughed, we argued during shared inquiry, we experienced aha moments, we listened deeply to each other, and we started to understand new ways of rendering a translation. And most importantly, we have grown as translator cultivators. Translation is not just the act of translating, it is also cultivation. As translators, we cultivate through translation. Where your translation is at is where your cultivation is at. Be faithful to the original text while being therapeutic for the readers. Infuse lyrical beauty into the verses while translating. Translation indeed is an art which has transformed us not only within the classroom but also in every part of our lives. Our journey at the City of 10,000 Buddhas has been transformative. The environment itself is education. We have been nurtured in multiple dimensions, spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually. Live in the moment, learning and embodying the teachings and putting them into our lives day to day, moment to moment. The future is unknown. It is where infinite potential and possibility lies, where beauty abides, and where transformation awaits. Let the future unfold by itself. As we bid farewell for now, 短暂的离别是为了更好的重逢. A temporary farewell paves the way for a sweeter reunion. Let us celebrate the journey we have walked together and the path that awaits. This is a farewell poem that I translated for my final project, with some adaptations from the original version by Li Shutong, also known as Master Hong Yi. Beside a mountain gate, down CTTB, the green grass reached the sky. Flute tunes breathe through night willows, the sun sets beyond the hill. The ends of earth, the edges of sky, we've separated and scattered far. Raise the cup, drink with joy, our dreams won't be cold tonight. Beside a mountain gate, down CTTB, the green grass reached the sky. When, dear friend, will you return? Don't wait too long, come back. The ends of earth, the edges of the sky, we've separated and scattered far. How precious are life's reunions. It's hard to say bye, my friend. How precious are life's reunions. It's hard to say bye, my friend. Congratulations to all the graduates. We made it! And thank you very much. I'm
Faculty, distinguished guests, and all graduates and students of DRBU, good afternoon. My name is Lotus. It's my great honor to be here and give a speech. Last year, on the first day of the opening ceremony, I told everyone that my word to cultivate is translation. Today, at the commencement ceremony, it's time for me to reflect on my journey. First of all, I would like to express my great gratitude to our great founder of Dharma Realm Buddhist University, Master Hua, as well as all the Dharma masters, faculty, members of my cohort, and other schoolmates of DRBU who strive to create such a peaceful and harmonious community. To me, this place is like a pure land where my soul can rest. Although we are from different parts of the world, we never differ in our Tathagata Gaba. Everyone has the Buddha nature. In this program, I not only translate sutras, but also translate myself. Master Hua has a couplet which goes, "The Venerable Kumarajiva translated sutras for the 7 Buddhas, rescuing the multitudes from the sea of suffering. Great Master Xuanzang saw the Dharma on behalf of the people, enabling living beings to reach the land of bliss. I am not Venerable Kumarajiva or Master Xuanzang. I'm just an ordinary person. But I allow myself to be myself and others to be others. And I have created 3 rules to follow in my own translations based on the 8 guidelines of Sutra translation. They are passion, compassion, and patience. With passion, I'm fully aware of my mission and purpose. So when I am in the darkness, there's always a beam of light that shines upon me, guiding me forward. With compassion, I know this endeavor not only for myself, but also for others, the whole world, and even the Dharma realm. So, whenever I encounter obstacles, I am aided by a powerful web of support that lends me strength and resolve. With patience, I know that when things do not go my way, it is okay to slow down, regroup, and continue anew. This journey is full of joy and hardship, but these 3 golden rules are like a compass guiding me to move on. According to Buddhism, everyone has a lotus in their mind. Through cultivation, one's lotus will become bigger and bigger every day. My concluding wish is, may everyone's lotus bloom, and may we meet again one day in the lotus pool of the Pure Land. Amitabha.
Staff, DRBU, a heartfelt prayer of gratitude for Venerable Master Hua, all the lineage before him, and the respected disciples that have continued such pure intention to not only spread Buddhaji's message, but more importantly, practice and imbibe them. And to you, the virtuous class of 2024, congratulations for arriving on such a beautiful summit of your lecture. In our culture in India, we touch the feet of souls that go on a pilgrimage, whether it's a walking pilgrimage or a pilgrimage of the heart or the mind. So just in honor of your journey pilgrimage. And to be asked to share in such a virtuous space. Spaces like these are awe-inspiring and humbling because of the purity of the intention that anchors it. So who am I, one who has been brought up and thrived in the material realms of the world, studied in a respected institution who thrives on capitalism and survival of the fittest, and a journey in the sphere of the business of music where ego and greed fuel the beautiful path. Who am I to share any words of wisdom today? But I guess as I was reflecting, I found there was one connection that I had to this space, similar to many of ours maybe, and that has been that of self-inquiry. The seeking of a better path, the desire to reduce suffering of myself and reduce the suffering of others. The journey of the realization that in the service of others lies our own liberation. So my dear graduates, or shall I say pilgrims, you have traversed far, but more importantly, deep in this community. Your inquiry has explored ancient texts in order to bring wisdom to the modern context. You have summoned the collective's treasure chest of wisdom and reflection to feed each other's souls, minds, and hearts. And with this, you will embark back into the valley of action and interaction with the so-called others, whoever they may be, whether they may be back here at DRBU, in your respective communities or congregations, in the realms of jobs or families or other pursuits that you may embrace. But from this heartfelt exploration at DRBU, deep seeds have definitely been planted. I spent a long time running. I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always coming, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show him. We plant the seeds then. Look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around. On this path forward, towards life's pursuit, towards finding peace and purpose, towards balancing the inner and the outer worlds, there are 3 C's that stand out for me that I know you all know very deeply as well, that have played a big role in my life journey, and that I just wanted to humbly remind you of as you're cleaning out and packing up to make sure you take along with you. These 3 C's are commitment, cultivation, and connection to your inner child. The first, commitment. If you don't mind joining me actually in a minute of silence before. Serve and try to reduce the suffering I had been feeling inside. So I started working with 16 children from impoverished communities to create a musical that we were planning to eventually perform publicly. It was an interesting challenge. Do I focus only on my service project to help my children grow and create an amazing show? Or do I equally focus on the virtues and habits that I wanted to cultivate within? I soon realized that the latter was the key to a more sustainable spirit in living. That even if I was doing the most pious work, if I was not focused on the inner work, the constant recalibration of self, it would soon become an ego-based journey to try to make impact and take credit for it. So though taking care of my children was important, so was daily meditation and various other personal practices. In working with my 16 kids, we ended up creating a wonderful show and miraculously got passports for these children who don't even have addresses and visas to the US and to the UK for our 25 team members to tour the children's show across the world. It was a big deal. From 1,000 people shows with standing ovations to media coverage by the BBC network to Disneyland, the White House, and much, much more. We had done it all with our children. Upon returning back to India, there was a lot of pressure on me to build up on this momentum, this global momentum that we had created, and build something bigger that even had more impact. As I reflected inwards, I realized my ego was getting tempted towards the glamour of impact and recognition that I was receiving. And as I meditated more and quieted the mind when we returned, the heart guided me towards the need to step back and detach from this visible work. In any previous effort in life, the obvious next step would have been to parlay the results into something greater. But in this case, for the first time in my life, I was lucky and blessed to prioritize the importance of rewiring this attachment that I had to rewards and recognition. This was the inner work. It was difficult to accept, but it was what was needed. I decided to let go of any idea of continuing to further build this project, and instead decided to do, quote unquote, nothing, except for small acts of service with our NGO and mentoring the children. This decision to let go has by far been one of the biggest achievements in my life. It helped me develop inner capacities of detachment from the image of myself that I had created, detachment from the expectation of others, patience, faith, presence to the small things in daily life that matter so much more. And as many of us have experienced, when our intentions are pure, the world somehow conspires. 11 months into this inner work, silence, stillness, small acts of love break I was taking, came an itch again to write music. I had stopped writing music 5 years prior. I had no intention to write music again. But from this space of stillness arose my journey in empty hands music. And so I look at this moment as a gift to say, how do we go back to zero? Many times we want to be a hero, but how do we go back to that zero? Next time you struggle between the mind and the heart, choose the heart's voice. This is the inner work, discerning between the egoic mind and the heart, and leaning into the heart's nudge. So commitment, cultivation, and connection to your inner child. The second C is cultivation, cultivation of your heart. May you all never stop on the journey of cultivating your hearts. Compassion is a virtue deeply instilled here at DRBU, and may continue to be a journey of expansion as you walk forward. As a small symbol of this heart-based journey we'll embark on, you are already, I say it first in English and then I'll sing it in Gujarati. Please cultivate my heart in a way that makes you, Lord, want to rest here. Please cultivate my heart in a way that makes it as sacred as a temple. Prabhu ne vanu man thai evu hridaya banavu maru mandir kehvanu man thai evu hridaya banavu maru. So cultivation of the heart. One formula that has emerged for me that I find helpful, so I'm sharing with you, to cultivate one's heart, are three elements. And I think many have been talked about today already. One is noble friendship. The container, the ecosystem that without we cannot practice. It is very difficult to practice. So how do we create that container and support system as we move forward for ourselves? Small acts of love, the muscle building through small acts of love and kindness. And the last is service, a way of being. Once you start integrating these three into your daily life, you will soon become enlisted, as Jin Xuanshi and Jin Weishir say, the CIA. Do you guys know what the CIA is? Yes. What? Compassion in action. Hope you guys get to join that group. I know you all are. In 2014, I had released a music album called Empty Hands, 10 songs, and decided to do a 7-month tour across America with a rental car to go to all the places that I had been invited to. And my dear sister, Audrey Lynn, who's right here, agreed to join me on this journey across America. Her noble friendship truly guided the ship away from being a concert tour to being a service pilgrimage. And I remember, while we were being invited to perform and many times seen in the light of a celebrity, we didn't accept that invitation. For us, we were blessed to have an opportunity to serve through this platform. And I remember a few different events. One, we were going to Ganges, Michigan. We arrived there, and the next door neighbor to the hall that we were going to be doing the concert in that night, Shakti, we found she was going through a house cleaning. So then Audrey and I are like, all right, let's not get ready for the event. Let's go clean her house. And then for the next 6 hours, we were just helping Shakti clean her house. And we actually took over her house, I think, Odds. But I love it because, this was supposed to be a tour. Visiting Jasper's home. We were in Maryland, and this young boy comes up to us. His mother comes up to us the night before at a concert. It's like, Jasper was really inspired. We're like, Sophie, can we get your home address? We'll surprise him in the morning. But that journey of turning it from some work to a pilgrimage, through just finding ways that our heart could connect to other hearts. I remember us taking a detour to Ohio on our way to Michigan because our brother Conrad was soon to pass away from cancer. And we had the blessing to host a Zoom call for him if we went to his home so that he could share his life story with others. So noble friendships, small acts of love, service. This process taught me that music was not a form of entertainment or inspiration, but that it can actually be a tool to love and serve. And like this, we all have whatever it is that we have as our assets, our skills, our offerings. And how do we use compassion as a tool to allow that skill, that talent to be served? May we all take action in compassion and surround ourselves with noble friends and keep exercising our muscle of love and service through small acts. There is no deeper spiritual path than a heart that is cultivated to love and serve. Throw your hearts up Let it fly high, let your love for all the world spread through the skies. Let it drop down, let it all go, spreading kindness to every single love for me shining through. 'Cause what you see in me, I can see in you. And soon enough, you and me will be out of time. And kindness will be all we can leave behind. Commitment, cultivation, and connection to your inner child. And the third, actually, to me is the most important, your connection to your inner child. If we are here today at this commencement, we are likely to have committed to our inner being and cultivated compassion at various levels. As we continue to deepen our practice, I'd like to take the amazing example of beloved Reverend Heng Sure and Marty. Here are souls whom, if you didn't know them and read even parts of their Highway Dharma letters, you might start thinking of them both as superheroes at such a young age, to have committed and cultivated at such deep levels unimaginable for most humans. And yet, did that sound like a Marvel commercial? And yet, after hearing and reading these stories and meeting Reverend Heng Sure for the first time, I felt like I was meeting my high school buddy. I didn't expect the word dude to come out of his mouth. Seeing him in action with his puppets and his voices and his singing, I was in disbelief that he can have worked so deep within, yet still live with a great lightness. To me, this is the goal. Deep cultivation with great lightness and as little residue as possible. And I apologize if that sounds like a TV commercial for dishwashing soap. Deep cultivation, great lightness, and little residue. Has completely melted. Be wary of the impact you want to make. Instead, make sure you are impacted each day. Have your eye on the sky, but still see the ants. The small things of the foundation of all that will last. We move on, passes by. Let's just only move from darkness to light. We reach the top and we look back. I hope you cry, filled with tears of joy, satisfied. So be careful not to accumulate too many things, because you might just end up with a pot full of greed, and doing likewise can also be deceiving. So I encourage you all to practice just be. Be still, be happy, be loving, be kind, be humble, be magical, be aware, be blind. Don't judge. See the good in each and every soul. Use your mind when needed, but follow your heart even more. Also, don't forget to thank God every time you fail, because your journey from failure will be a legacy until. Remember to feed birds, hug trees, and bow to the sun until you and Mother Nature are one. The last thing is to be grateful for all of your great gifts, for gratitude and suffering cannot coexist. Once you reach this space, every moment will be bliss, and this graduating class will mark your success. We move on as time passes by. Let's just hold we move from darkness to light. When we reach the top and we look back, I hope you cry, filled with tears of joy, satisfied. Last time we move on as time passes by.